On the news, National Assembly passes 68.3 trillion 2026 budget.
To extend the implementation of the capital aspects of the Appropriation Act 2025 from 31st March 2026 to 30 June 2026 and for related matters.
Senate demands probe into Plateau attack, calls for joint security bases.
Direct the Inspector General of Police to commence investigations and bring the culprits to face the full wrath of the law.
Plus, Senate backs Nigeria-UK customs collaboration to tackle trade imbalance and to boost revenue. Good evening and welcome to Parliamentary News. I am Abubakar Galadima. We begin the news with 2026 budget. The National Assembly has passed the 2026 appropriation bill totaling 68.3 trillion naira. The increase in 2026 budget size with an additional 9 trillion naira followed President Tinubu's request to the Senate and House of Representatives, which was expeditiously approved by both chambers. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports.
More than 3 months after the laying of the budget, 2 presidential requests to both chambers of the National Assembly preceded the clause-by-clause consideration of the 2026 appropriation bill in the Committee of Supply. First, to increase the 2026 budget by more than 9 trillion naira, and then to extend implementation of the capital component of the 2025 budget by 3 months.
To extend the implementation of the capital aspects of the Appropriation Act 2025 from 31st March 2026 to 30 June 2026 and for related matters.
The capital aspect of the Appropriation Act 2025 was not funded and so implementation could not take place.
Almost half of the 68.3 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill now awaiting presidential assent will go into capital expenditure, while 15.8 trillion naira is for debt servicing. Top allocations go to the Ministries of Defense, Education and Health to safeguard the well-being of citizens.
With the increase in revenue as a result of the tax reforms, that this will be a realistic budget for the benefit of all Nigerians.
The Enugu and Maiduguri Urban Light Rail Project. This is a clear indication that Mr. President is not only responsible, but responsive.
The bureaucratic bottlenecks that led the challenge of late releases of funds in 2025 should be addressed holistically.
And ensure that the growth translates into a decent job, rising income, and a better quality of life across the Federation.
The Senate and House of Representatives also approved 2 separate loan requests from the executive, comprising a $5 billion facility from First Abu Dhabi Bank for a structured external financing program and a $1.9 billion loan from Citibank of London to upgrade the Apapa and Tinkan Island ports.
The rehabilitation and reconstruction of these ports will improve the port's functionality and operational efficiency.
The gale of defections continue in both chambers, with more in the House of Representatives, where 30 lawmakers announced change of membership of political parties. Both chambers have adjourned plenary to the 21st of April 2026. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikpen, NTA News.
Senate has called on authorities to investigate recent security breaches in Jos North and Kanam local government area of Plateau states, leading to loss of lives, including security personnel. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that Senate is asking for establishment of joint operational bases in affected areas.
Raising the issue as an urgent matter as activities resume in the Red Chamber after the Eid al-Fitr break, Senator Diket Plank and 2 others from Plateau State expressed sadness over insecurity in parts of the state and appealed for support.
The crisis in Plateau has become very complex because of its economic, ethnic, and religious coloration, with recent attacks having no particular target or reason, but pointing towards an act of terrorism.
It has even moved into security. Like he said, in his constituency, soldiers were killed. The frequency at which these people arrive is worrisome. And what are we going to do about it?
In Dandime local governments, they kill about 18 people. And most of these people are ISWAP, and they are operating in Africa.
Direct the Inspector General of Police to commence investigations and bring the culprits to face the full wrath of the law.
Also at plenary, Senate urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to restore constituencies in Benue State as ordered by the Court of Appeal.
The defendant is ordered to conduct elections in Ukum 1, that is Safia, in bracket and Constitution 2, Shangiti, constituencies of Benue State, into Benue State House Assembly.
Meanwhile, Senate has declared Enugu North, Nasarawa North and River South East senatorial seats vacant and urged INEC to conduct elections within the constitutionally stipulated period of 30 days. Another defection was recorded in the Red Chamber, bringing APC members to 89 as Senator Peter Gia defected from the People's Democratic Party. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin has called for decisive action by the federal government and the security forces to clamp down on terrorism and all forms of criminality, stating that Nigeria cannot leave its citizens at the mercy of criminals and non-state actors. Speaker Abbas stated this while sympathizing with the people of Angwan-Rukuba, Jos North local government area of Plateau State, describing the attack on them by suspected terrorists and as gruesome and heinous. The Speaker notes that protection of life and properties is the primary responsibility of the government and advocates better collaboration, especially between the federal and subnational governments, government and the people, as well as interagency cooperation. The Nigerian Ports Authority is targeting a revenue of 1.4 trillion naira in 2026, reflecting a 21 billion naira increase from the 2025 target. This was revealed when the authority appeared before the House Committee on Ports and Harbors to defend its 2025 budget performance and the 2026 budget proposal. NPA's Managing Director Abubakar Dansoho, while commending the National Assembly for approving the loan request for ports upgrade, emphasized that modernization of the Apapa and Tinkan Island ports will make them globally competitive and boost national revenue.
The port modernization is important, we are doing that. Then technology. No country develops or moves any faster without using technology. Locally for us, the National Single Window has just been launched by federal government. The go live happened last week. Though technology, like we all know, is something that upgrades with time. So the single window is on ground now in Nigeria. It makes every other participant in the industry to work on the computer, to apply or to pay for anything. Now the most important part is that we have to have a brand new deep sea port.
Yes, it's important that we are doing port rehabilitation, but you have to go back to think of how to take one of the ports in the Eastern Corridor. When we were about to pass this the loan, people were complaining, but why will it be only Apapa and the Tinkan? Do you understand? Well, I understand the importance of Apapa and Tinkan because it's a major traffic. It's a major traffic, but also there are other considerations that you also look into.
Moving on, the collaborative move by the Nigerian Customs Service to address gaps in trade data, advance customs modernization, and strengthen operational cooperation between Nigeria and the UK has been described by the Senate as a turning point in Nigeria's efforts to plunge revenue leakages. The Controller General of the Nigerian Customs, Bashir Adeni, led a Nigerian team at the meeting with head of the International Customs and Border Engagement, Megan Shaw. The Senate Customs Committee Chairman, Senator Issa Jibrin, says resolving discrepancies through digital solutions would boost revenue and position Nigeria more competitively in global trade system. It has been reported that there is about £1.2 billion discrepancy in trade figures between Nigeria and the UK, and the collaboration is to enhance transparency. Meanwhile, Minister of Transportation Saidu Ahmed Al-Ghali has joined the list of ministers who have resigned from offices to meet the deadline of March 31st. Mr. Al-Ghali was at the State House to meet President Bola Tinubu. The meeting behind closed door was not unconnected to his resignation, which later confirmed to our State House correspondent. The former minister is pursuing personal ambition to join the race for Gombe State governorship seat in the 2027 general elections. He joins the likes of Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, who resigned as Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Yusuf Tanko Sununu, the hitherto Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Meanwhile, President Tinubu also received in audience his former Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar. The former minister visited the president in office for the first time since he resigned his previous position in the cabinet. Though details of the meeting behind closed doors were not made public, it is believed to have centered on political situation in Jigawa State. The meeting also cleared the air on insinuation in some quarters that the former minister was planning to dump the APC for an opposition party. The former two-term governor of Jigawa State resigned as minister on December 1, 2025, after serving from August 21, 2023. The president also received the immediate past national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje. We now take a break. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
From the 36 states of Nigeria to the legislative chambers where laws are made, laws that shape healthy living, developmental strides, and challenges. Do you know that your future begins and lies with your state legislature? Stay informed, stay educated, stay connected, and stay empowered. It is a weekly affair where we keep you abreast with legislative stories that matter. From the state assemblies, only on NTA Parliament. Join us via DSTV, GoTV, StarTimes, and free-to-air platforms. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Some moments never fade. Some debates still echo, and some decisions continue to shape our future. Stay back in time with us as we revisit the redefining plenary sections of Nigeria's National Assembly. From intensive debates to landmark legislations, from voices of yesterday to lessons for today, we bring history alive. This is from the archives, where the past speaks to the present, and history guides the future. We write history, revisit the debates. From the archives, only on NTA Parliament. Watch us on DSTV channel, GoTV channel, StarTimes channel, and free to air.
Every week, a voice stands out, a leader inspires, and a lawmaker makes the difference. From the chamber of debates to the heart of the communities, we celebrate men and women shaping our democracy. Who is making impact? Who is driving change? Who is standing tall for the people? Join us as we spotlight excellence, celebrate service, and honor leadership. Legislator of the Week, where democracy meets inspiration. Stay tuned for Legislator of the Week, showing only on NTA Parliament. Don't miss Legislator of the Week, your window into impactful leadership.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is NTA Parliamentary News coming to you from the capital city, Abuja. And the House of Representatives is advocating the integration of digital technology into government policies and programs as a panacea for perceived gaps in service delivery. Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu stated this at a National Policy Roundtable, seeking to promote digital governance in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Mutare Ikpen reports on these and other engagements in Parliament.
This roundtable on digital governance attracts lawmakers and public policy experts to make a strong case for digitizing government policies and processes, not as an afterthought, but the foundation on which governance is built. The National Digital Economy and E-Governance Bill, which is still before Parliament, is perceived by speakers to be the structural backbone needed to enforce compliance and provide a digital systems roadmap for government agencies.
It legalizes the use of electronic signatures, contracts, and transactions, and pushes government institutions to adopt more efficient and transparent digital processes. If we have safe auditing systems where if nothing is done when it's supposed to be done, the NES flags it off and complains to your superior, and then complains to the superior of your superior, and then gets to the president, you are fired. And if you know that every of your action is time bound, you will not keep a file in the folder for 2 years and waiting for somebody to come and raise your palm. Because the self-auditing infrastructure, digital infrastructure, will raise the red flag.
It is about redesigning systems to work better for every citizen. It is about redesigning systems to work better for every business operation.
Meanwhile, the National Assembly is proposing a policy dialogue to overhaul national planning and budgeting processes, as well as bridge gaps between national development plans and implementation of annual budgets.
There are issues around, the envelope system. It has its up, it also has its downs. So that different MDAs can come up and talk some of their experience and come up with what they think is right before the communique can now make recommendations to government.
In a separate development, the House Committee on Pensions resumed hearing on the alleged violation of guidelines of the Pension Reform Act by NNPC Pension Fund Limited. The panel described the absence of invitees for the hearing as a setback to its investigation and directed PENCOM to engage all pension fund administrators handling NNPC-related funds and assets towards resolving all outstanding discrepancies. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Nigeria is undergoing a series of economic reforms aimed at stabilizing public finance, improving revenue generation, and ensure sustainable development. These far-reaching reforms, however, comes with challenges that need urgent redress, which brought about a 2-day engagement for commissioners of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS.
The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission plays a strategic role in Nigeria's fiscal architecture. It is against this backdrop that the role of its commissioners becomes more critical as custodians of fiscal equity and key sectors in fostering harmony, strengthening public trust, as well as the ability to navigate dynamic policy environment.
Understanding the evolving fiscal environment, innovation in public sector management, performance and accountability frameworks, and effective stakeholder engagement. The emphasis is on practical learning, equipping you with tools for data-driven decision-making, improved revenue tracking, conflict resolution, and result-oriented management.
This training, therefore, serves as both an orientation and a refresher aimed at aligning everyone with the core values, rules, and expectations guiding our work.
At the end of the engagement, participants will be better equipped to translate vision into action, strengthening collaboration with legislature, executive, and the state government to drive institutional reforms. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
A new vista of partnership has been concretized between the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, South Africa, and the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, an arm of the Nigeria's National Assembly in Abuja. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the benchmark visit is critical to constitutional development of the two nations.
Nigeria and South Africa have long-standing historical and diplomatic ties rooted in a common commitment to democratic governance. The visit by the Gauteng legislature is to learn from the system of Nigeria's constitutional structure and how it operates. At the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, the two institutes pledged to work closely by enhancing institutional capacity and contribute to improve governance.
Without having those alignments, we will have an instrument that becomes only an aspiration. But the work that you are doing here today, it concretizes exactly that for us to thrive as a continent, we need to align ourselves with the continental and processes that we have in our respective nations.
As it will have been expected, the key strategic influence that both Nigeria and South Africa portrays puts immense pressure on our legislatures That's the expectation placed on politicians, parliamentary staff that are equally big.
Through this engagement, we are confident that both NAIS and the Gotten Provincial Legislature will gain insight that will enhance institutional capacity and ultimately contribute to improve governance outcome for the citizen we both serve.
The Gauteng Provincial Legislature is a unicameral body of 80 members elected every 5 years. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Leaders of the National Assembly have paid glowing tributes to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his 74th birthday, commending his leadership and reform agenda. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, described the president as an audacious and visionary leader committed to reciting Nigeria through bold economic reforms and democratic ideals. Similarly, Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, praised Tinubu's reformative vision and ongoing infrastructural development, expressing confidence in his chance for a second term and reaffirming the Senate's support for his administration. In the House of Representatives, Speaker Abbas Tajudeen lauded President Tinubu as a pro-democracy hero, political strategist, and unifier who continue to build a strong network of progressive Nigerians. He also highlighted the impact of the Renewed Hope agenda in driving reforms and national development. While noting the growing popularity of the All Progressive Congress, also the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, also commended the President's visionary leadership and bold economic initiative, wishing him continued strength and many more years in service to the nation. This is where we conclude parliamentary news. Remember, you can still watch this news and other programs on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. On behalf of the production crew, I am Abubakar Galadima.